Greetings, true believers. Welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2019. Excelsior! If you're a fan of Marvel superheroes, you've probably spent the last decade and a half watching the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and X-Men movies, but it has been far too long since they all teamed up for a video game. Well, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, the Black Order, I gotta get the whole title in there, is on its way to fix that. Here to tell me more is Nintendo's JC Rodrigo, and here to ask stupid questions about Gambit and Omega Red, Brian Altano.
Who is the Gambit and who is the Omega
Tell us
Red?
more about this Remy LeBeau.
Why you gotta do that, man? What do you want me to say? Look, this game is cool.
Now, I don't think we've seen Gambit in action, but that was literally the first question out of his mouth. But you did drop this wonderful trailer during the Direct today.
Yeah.
It shows off, like, I mean, it was kind of like a Where's Waldo of Marvel characters.
Yeah, there's a ton of them. You know, we have over 30 characters in the game, and in the particular demo that we brought today, there's about 13 of them. So some of the ones you can see on screen right now, you have Captain Marvel, you have Wolverine, you see Thor, pretty sure Star-Lord's in there. And yeah, there's also some NPCs we find familiar, Jessica Jones. Also, she'll be helping us for the level later on.
You know, it just does wonderful things for me to see Wolverine in his like iconic yellow, black and blue. Like how easy that would be to just put that character everywhere like that, and it just doesn't happen. So it's really good to see him here.
So this is the Ultimate Alliance series. I know a lot of people really love them. They're known for having like just massive rosters of characters.
Oh yeah.
This is the first one in what, like 13 years?
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. I think what has really kind of changed since then is, like, I know there's a couple of newcomers, right? First ones to the series, like I know that Guardians of the Galaxy, they're in here now, and I hope my personal favorite character to play as right now is a combo of Groot and Rocket. They're one character.
Oh.
Yeah, so they have a really interesting way of attacking too. There's also, let me see, there's so many. I think we revealed like Elsa Bloodstone earlier this morning was in the trailer. Elektra was there, Ghost Rider.
Yeah, there's the X-Men, there's the Avengers, there's the Fantastic Four, there's the Marvel Knights. It just keeps going and going and going.
Oh yeah, that's part of the DLC. So we also announced this morning that there's it's like Marvel Knights, I think Fantastic Four, and X-Men are part of some DLC that will be coming out starting in fall. But you can actually pre-order it right now on Nintendo eShop. And what you're seeing right now is just kind of going back to kind of what you're seeing here is, of course, any Marvel Ultimate Alliance game probably wouldn't be complete without some kind of epic storyline. So you have this new twist on the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, not necessarily the comic book version, not the cinematic one either. So it'll be only something that's exclusive to Nintendo Switch.
I'm okay with that. The movie version was heavy and dark, and I need a break. I want something a little more lighthearted. Look at these guys. This is just the best.
Hanging out. Let's see some heroes. Let's see the select screen.
Yeah, so here you want to take a little bit of time. Yeah, pick whoever's back there playing, go ahead and take your time, pick a couple of them. Yeah, so Storm, Black Panther.
Yes.
And what you're going to see is as you select some of these, you'll see Marvel Royalty, Gods and Demons, X-Force. As they start to put them together, if you put, let's say, all the women of Marvel together, you start getting bonuses for your attack, your defense, your special gauges, and so you kind of want to think about what's making up. Oh, it's so good. You want to think about the makeup of your team, but then ultimately you can put together, that was not intentional. You can put together whatever team you want, and there's always a way to make it work, and make it work really well.
And I guess for like the uninitiated, the gameplay is sort of it alternates between top-down, a little bit of sort of 3/4 view, side-scrolling. The camera moves around a lot, but a lot of it's basically action, combat, gauntlet style, multiplayers. Not necessarily like dungeon crawling, but sort of like battling their way through waves of enemies, which I think is like great for local co-op on Switch.
Absolutely, you have local co-op up to 4 players. You could do local wireless. There is some online play as well. So yeah, definitely a pick up and play game with anyone, even if you've never played before and someone hands you a Joy-Con or something. Really easy. That punches the other dude in the face. This one jumps and hit that to do your special. Real simple.
It's just there's something wonderfully like simple about that. It's just it's a brawler about superheroes. They're all together. They're hanging out in the same universe. I want to point out, I love that I think it was the previous ones, Deadpool was like not a well-known character back then. And those games really helped kind of surface him as like a funny character. He would like break the fourth wall and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about sort of the writing and sort of this is the tone of the game, I guess?
Yeah, the tone of the game for me, as I've been playing through it, it's just really clever the way that they start to put the relationships together. So the writing is actually pretty funny at times, obviously. There's also like, they're starting to clue you in on relationships that you didn't think that should be there, but they actually are there. So I don't want to give too much away because I really shouldn't talk about it, but I should say that it'll be really entertaining to watch Marvel characters that you didn't think were going to interact in a whole new way. So
Playing with action figures, I like it.
Yeah, no,
Take
totally.
it
it's
off.
kind of what it is, right? You have like, hey, I want to play as this and then that. Oh, great, let's put them all together. Sure, let's wreck house together. Fine.
And so one of the characters just picked up a rare item. Is that going to sort of nudge people to replay levels a bunch of times and look for like secret stuff, hidden drops?
So what you're looking is Thor is actually equipping an ISO 8. So ISO 8 allows you to power up your characters different ways. You equip an ISO 8, they give you a little bit of boosted damage, defense, things like that. So yes, you'll find a ton of different versions of that, and you do want to collect them. In addition, just like other Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, there's also some leveling up to do. So if you really like a certain character, you can make them all buff, and they can start, dealing tons more damage than they would normally do. So yeah, you want to level up, you want to collect some stuff, and mess around with the synergy that you have between all your characters. So
I like how Jessica Jones is just being like antisocial and just sort of hanging out, just leaning against walls, just being sort of helpful, but not really.
well, she's about to be helpful in a hot second.
Okay.
She's asking, how do we get in Shadowland? Because they're trying to take down the Black Order. She just goes, well, let me do this right here. Then, yeah, that's it. There you go.
So everybody had to fight waves of bad guys, and she's like, I'm going to punch this machine.
Yep. Worth it. Worth it.
You got to call in the
Totally
right people
worth
for
it.
the right job, man.
Yep. You'll see a lot of other characters like Luke Cage. It definitely is a call out there. Jessica Jones are talking over headsets. You'll probably also see another one coming up in a moment. But first, you'll start to notice as you're watching the game, there's a lot of damage numbers flying up, things like that. In order to do a lot of these special moves that they're using is you just hold down the R button and you press either Y or X. And you'll notice when that menu comes up, there's actually there's 4 open slots, but in this demo there's only 2 skills. So as you start to level up your characters, you'll start to kind of go, you know what, I want skill number 1, 4, 6, and this one, and that'll be your loadout of skills for that character. And what ends up happening is, you start to really tinker with the balance of each of these characters, and you start to do these combo attacks, which you can press. You may see it in the future. You see kind of like a button come up front, or like a kind of a beam that connects 2 characters. And if you press the A button there, that'll allow them to do like a combo attack and actually multiply the damage that they output.
So that all kind of feeds back into like selecting, who your lineup is.
Yeah, always trying to try new things. You'll slowly get characters over time, and you'll start to kind of learn each of those, kind of the nuances of each of those superheroes, and find a way to insert them in your group. It's pretty.
How big is the roster on the launch game?
It's over 30 characters.
That's over 30. Good God. Okay.
It's a lot to go through,
They,
believe me.
and they all have like unique skill sets that they can acquire?
Completely. And the way they interact with each other is all different too, depending on what your loadout is. And also, of course, it's kind of silly, right?
Like really ambitious.
it's a lot. That's why.
I appreciate the level variety too, because we went from like this back alley street fight to like wrecking a Zen garden.
That's kind of like the end of Royal Tenenbaums, really.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's like sort of an official Royal Tenenbaums video game.
Closest we're gonna get for a while.
Unofficial is the key word.
Now, what about alternate costumes?
Ooh, I won't be going into them right now. I won't be going into any of that. So nothing's announced at this time.
Okay, fine. I'll leave you alone.
But we did see the Spider-Verse Spider-Man.
Technically, so you have Miles Morales is new, right?
Got it.
Miles Morales. There's like Spider-Gwen. There's Spider-Man. So there are some changes to obviously maybe the outfits that people are familiar with in the cinematic universe, riffing off of those in the comic universe as well. So
God, that rules.
Now, are they all kind of treated as they're all unique characters, right? They're not. It's not just like palette swaps, basically.
No.
Okay.
They're all unique characters. Definitely even like Venom and Spider-Man. Obviously, they're very different, but even then, huge difference even in the way you play. Venom hits harder. He uses like just that black goo, whatever you want to call it, and just Venom, I guess, go down like. He can go down to the ground, splash and area effect damage, where like Spider-Man's more of a jumping around and kind of arcing from side to side, getting in and out of battle. And you have
nicer.
I guess he's a bit nicer. He's just a little.
Just a little bit
Just a little
nicer
bit
than
nicer.
This is the ultimate alliance. They all find a way to kind
That's
of
true.
ally.
But they're different inside for the greater good to beat evil.
Yeah, I mean, you have Iron Fist here. That's another cameo. You'll see a lot of those, and you could play as him as well. And also, someone corrected me earlier. Someone was like, "Well, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel." I'm like, "Well, I've been told it's the current Miss Marvel."
Yeah.
That's the Miss Marvel. I'd say
Right.
this one is the current Miss
There's
Marvel.
Miss Marvel and there's Captain
This is
Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Correct. Yeah.
Titles.
The dangerous thing about even sticking like your pinky toe into the universe of comics is that 1,000 people will jump out and be like, "Nope, wrong, no, this, that. I know the lore."
I bet someone out there right now is like, JC is just not on the game today. He's
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's actually this.
There's a lot of Marvel characters. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of them.
And there's a lot of action happening on screen too, because right now is the kind of section where you have these ultimate alliance attacks. And what that is when your gauge is full at the bottom, you kind of see him this weird kind of gold ring around him a little bit. If you press L and R at the same time, one person will execute like their ultimate attack. Obviously, you should be facing that as an extreme attack, alliance extreme, and the more people that have the gauge full, you can stack it up, and all 4 people can just go ham and just unleash all of them at the same time, and it multiplies the damage in the bottom right.
I want to say real quick, you totally got me like wanting to play as Groot and Rocket now, because I really like their combo of like up close melee stuff, and then sort of the like hanging back and shooting missiles at people.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you press the weak button and you kind of hold it, Rocket will just shoot from afar, so you can, if you're low on health, just back up and let that fill your gauge. Then when you get closer, you just have Groot just use your strong attack button. He starts slapping around his body. I guess. Branches, body.
Tendrils? I don't know what you call that.
There's another commenter right now. Actually, it's not actually.
Let me copy and paste that to me. We'll
figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Are there any botanists in the comment section? Please let us know what Groot's body is called.
And also, you'll see that some of the stronger enemies are so good.
Whoa!
Just watch them go. Blast,
I love that like comic book style, like that that splash screen that comes
little
up.
Blades that come through.
Yep.
Oh man, this is so good. Oh. Yeah, they are really going in.
Yeah, they're just wailing on this guy.
So generally, that's actually a lot of characters, local.
Look at that. I mean,
that splash screen's silly, right?
Yeah, it is just the best.
So many characters.
Nightcrawler in there. I'm happy to have Nightcrawler in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the thing is if you like Marvel even a little bit, there's something here for you, you know. And they got all the guys who had their Netflix shows canceled. So
yeah.
so
I'm not.
Yeah. No, you bring everybody in who's, whether you love their movies or their TV shows, they're all here. They're all hanging out. I like that. I appreciate that.
Now, can you talk at all about bosses? Is that a thing we're talking about yet? Will there be bosses?
I've played a few bosses. I'm just trying to figure out what we made public so far. But to risk I say, there's some really good ones. And a lot of the fights that I've experienced through the main game are even like this right here in the demo is pretty sweet. But some of the bosses I've seen in the battles you'll face, like it's pretty inspiring. You're just like, they really went for it this time.
Now, obviously, like we've all gotten very familiar with Thanos and the Black Order because of the movies, but will there be other villains popping up here and there? We saw Magneto in the most recent trailer.
Oh yeah, you will see some.
Okay.
Can I say that? You will see some.
Who was doing Magneto's voice in that? Do you know off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I do not. Why you gotta ask me these questions?
That's a really everyone is like, is that Ian McKellen? It's not Ian McKellen, I don't think. It's somebody doing a really good impression, but
really good impression, probably.
So I think we're going through with a different lineup of characters now: Black Panther, Venom, Storm, and Deadpool. I'm all about this.
Oh man,
this is a good team, and so it's telling you now the bonuses that this specific team can get.
Correct. So like, increase in damage output, defense, or even like the charge of your meter going up a little bit. Like, yeah, there's depending on what the combination is, you'll have different buffs.
Now, tell me about sort of control configurations for Nintendo Switch. Can you play with split Joy-Cons with each player, or is like how does local multiplayer work with different controllers?
You can either play with Joy-Con, but my preference definitely is grip. I think grip or Pro Controller is probably where it's at for me. But you could also use Joy-Con.
In case like you're on a plane with somebody and you want to do an ultimate.
You want to bother your seatmate.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I need you to do something for me real quick.
I think that's a nice thing to do on a plane, is bother your seatmate with Venom.
That would be a little terrifying. That's okay. That's awkward.
So here they are. We have Venom running in the front up here. I love the way they play with scale in this game and how he's just like twice the size of Deadpool.
There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
He's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
And he leaves his stuff everywhere. It's just gross.
It's just a lot of slime.
When you're playing with the large characters, too, that's another thing I kind of felt. When you start to play different characters, like Venom feels like he's just he hits like a Mack truck. Him and Thor feel like brick walls that are coming to like smash your face in. As opposed to someone like, like Spider-Man's really quick. And even Miles Morales is actually really fast. Or Wolverine, heaven forbid you try and slow down with Wolverine. You just don't. There's no slowing in Wolverine.
Now obviously, this
feels good.
This is a co-op game. You want to team up with people and work together with them. But when a rare item does get dropped, how do you decide who gets it and who gets to attribute it to their characters and build that kind of stuff out?
Yeah, I mean, generally it's you grab them all and it's kind of like in your satchel. It's all in the giant list. And then you can kind of futz with it and be like, all right, well, I want to try this ISO 8, this one particular one with that character, and it gives them a certain amount of boost. But let's just say that you're going for all like hard hitters, right? Okay, maybe that, the wrong ISO 8 could doesn't really help you that much. You probably want to get all the ones that boost your output and say, you know what, forget about HP or not really worried about defense. You know, just depends. So.
Sweet. And this is out July 19th?
This is out July 19th, correct. And as far as the exclusive DLC that we announced this morning, you can start pre-ordering that right now, and then the first of which starts to come in fall.
Sweet. And have you announced have you announced all of the DLC, or is there still more kind of down the road further?
The ones that we announced this morning were particularly, so going over again, it's Marvel Knights, there's like an X-Men, and there's also a Fantastic Four. So those 3 packs, and the first of which of those will start releasing in fall.
And so right now we have Avengers, we have Guardians, we have some X-Men in there. There's a whole bunch going on. I'm really into it.
Yeah, there's a lot. And I think what's a lot of fun for folks in Treehouse too when we start messing with it is like we'll start to kind of paint what our picture-perfect screenshot we want to grab. And so like, all right, Venom, you stand over there, you'll do this, you're going to hold down the R button, you do that. Okay, that one's really cool. Who's got something else? And then we'll just start making these really epic screenshots. So definitely take a look at the, some of the screenshots that we're releasing from Nintendo. And there's a lot of hard work and just kind of tinkering with it to make sure it's beautiful. So we love trying to recreate that comic book feel to it.
JC, do you have a personal favorite character right now?
Oh, man.
Not to make you favorite.
Maybe because I have a man crush on Chris Hemsworth, probably Thor.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, I mean he's just too handsome for me not to like him. And he hits, that. And, he has a really cool attack where he kind of sends, he uses his, meow meow whatever. And
I've never been able to say it right either.
Yeah, and then he just kind of shoots out lightning from it going forward, and his extreme attack kind of covers a wide area. That feels really good to connect with someone else when you team up with a sync attack.
Cool. One last question. It is Ultimate Alliance 3, the last one quite a while ago. For people who aren't familiar with the series, this is a totally clean jumping on point, right?
Absolutely. You don't have to play any of the other games to kind of get in with this one and kind of figure out what it's about. It's pretty straightforward. Pick your favorite superheroes, team them up, and take on Thanos. You don't really have to worry about too much. You'll be just fine.
JC, thank you so much. Brian, okay job. That is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, out July 19th, only on Nintendo Switch. Enough said.